Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're having a great weekend, and welcome to this new video on Bitcoin. Wanted to do a full update for today, but especially for next week. I mean, obviously today has been so far, and probably will be relatively quiet until later tonight when the S&P 500 futures market opens again. But what we've seen, I mean, the volume decrease. Volume yesterday was obviously still quite high after the volatile end of last week. But the volume right now is down like 70%, which is absolutely crazy. It's down 68%, down to $13.6 billion here, which is, very low. But that also, I mean, you can see yesterday we had some movement here, but it was minimal. It was more than what we had right here, for example, but still was minimal. So the majority of this video will be about next week, and next week is also the most important and most interesting part. And I think the movement for next week very much depends on two things. Those two things we will talk about in this video, but I'll give you a full rundown of what's going on and what the possibilities are for Bitcoin in general. All right. So that's what we'll do. We have some economic data next week as well. I will focus on this a little bit more in my market update video later this afternoon. I think we have a little bit more time to talk about everything. In general, we have FOMC minutes on Wednesday. That's important. We have CPI and inflation rate data on Thursday. That's important. I will also be live streaming during that. Also some employment data. And then Friday we have PPI, but that's it. So mainly Wednesday, Thursday, important. But I will also keep you updated on that, of course, in every video every morning. But now let's get on with Bitcoin while I receive an alert about a potential trade, which I think I've already missed. But I'll make a video this morning as well about potential altcoins that can pump today. So check that out if you're interested in that. But I'll cover what just happened in there as well. But no, I mean, the situation for Bitcoin here is basically still the same as it was for the majority of March. And that is that we have this value area right here between 85,000 rounded up, and then this level right here at 80,000 rounded down. And we're looking for some sort of a catalyst or some sort of a change, some sort of development that we can see a breakout or a breakdown. All right. And at this point of time, there's absolutely no indication of neither. All right. It's very much going to depend on what's going to happen. Maybe not in the next 24 hours, but definitely at the start of next week. And there's two things, like I said, that I wanted to talk about. Now, first of all, what will still matter a lot, even though the correlation between crypto and the stock market has decreased, the stock market still does matter a lot. All right. So what's going to happen with that? How that will open? What type of developments we will get with this whole trade war, tariff situation? That's going to matter a great deal. And that is something that's impossible to predict. Now, my bias is that I think this is an overreaction, but honestly, it's just very hard to analyze what's going to happen with these tariffs. How serious should we take them? What will other countries do compared to them? So that is something I will definitely keep you updated on, but it's not something I can predict. Now, something that is more predictable though is the following. What we've seen, and I also made a video on that yesterday, which I would definitely recommend you to check out. What we have seen in the last few weeks is that the crypto market has been stronger than the stock market. All right, so what we've seen also, if you take a look at the Coinbase Bitcoin price right here, is that during the week, there are these massive whales buying Bitcoin, holding up Bitcoin relatively well against the stock market. So it's going to be important to see whether last week, when Bitcoin held on relatively well, it was just Michael Saylor buying, which would be bad, all right? Because that would be, I mean, look, it's obviously good that he held up the price, but he cannot keep up the price forever, and then there's still the chance that we'll see some sort of a laggy move, causing Bitcoin to fall down lower later than the stock market. But that is something we will see, all right? Usually he posts on Sunday or Monday some sort of a graph about whether they bought, yes or no. Let me see if I can quickly find that. Yeah, right here. So if you see a massive orange bubble right here, that's probably going to be bearish, right? Because that means that he bought a lot of Bitcoin last week, which will most likely generate a bearish reaction in the markets. So definitely would keep an eye on that. I will also keep you updated on that, of course. But if that's not true, right? So if he did not buy that much Bitcoin, then I think we actually have a chance, of course, unless the stock market crashes down lower, but it has already fallen down a lot. But I think we have a chance to actually break out here. So at this point of time, because of my bias to in the end provide you with a prediction, because of my bias that this is a bit of an overreaction, at least on the short term by the stock markets, and with the strength we have seen from Bitcoin in the last couple of weeks, because it wasn't only last week, it was the last couple of weeks, I have to say that I think a bullish breakout looks more likely here. Now, would I trade that? Depends. I would definitely not buy Bitcoin right now in anticipation of that breakout. But ultimately, you know, if we actually have some volume coming in, buying that breakout, I do think is a fair trade opportunity. But I'll still keep you updated on that. That's at least what I think you need to know for now. Bit of a long video, excuse me for that. But take care and bye.